How's it going, guys? DeAndre Jones here. I'm back with another YouTube video, and this is more of a talk video, so I'm not jumping around. It's more of philosophy and just wisdom that I've gotten from my training, passing it off to you. If you already feel like you understand this, then you can skip this video, but a lot of people might need to hear this, so I'm just going to discuss it. Whenever I'm training, I always tend to aim for perfection, and it kind of comes off of me as being hard on myself in a positive way. So like, if I jump to something and it's not perfect and I don't like it, I continue to do it until I can, repeatedly land a jump perfectly. And the reason why that is because I believe perfection also leads to progression. So a clear example of this is maybe with an acro movement, like a back full. Okay, so you got a solid back tuck, you got a back layout, but it's not the prettiest, and you try to do fulls. Well, that's when you can lead to injuries, because you need to perfect the foundational movements before you move on to more advanced skills. And I see that in a lot of parkour. Somebody will get a movement, get a jump, get a skill, and immediately move on to the next one, but it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look safe. I don't want to feel like if I see you do something, I don't want to feel like I'm scared for your life. I want to be like, oh man, even though that's really big and really scary, he looked so composed, and it just looked, his form was great in the air, so there's no reason why he would hurt himself, But if you're landing all wonky and you're falling on you're falling a lot, and it just doesn't look very uniform, I'm gonna be nervous for how long you'll be able to actually train. So I want to give you 3 tips to help you perfect your movement in a sense. So the first tip is repetition. You always want to repeat a movement over and over again. You get more knowledge of your body while it's performing that move, and you're able to kind of take in more information as you start to get more muscle memory. So a good example is maybe a side flip. So learning how to do a side flip, you're landing low at first because you need to focus on jumping, but then you focus on jumping and you forget the tuck. So you need to there's always something wrong whenever you're learning a movement and you're trying to focus on a certain aspect of that movement. So what you need to do is you need to drill that flip over and over again to something like jumping high is no longer a thought that you have to think about. You know that whenever you go for the flip, you need to jump high, and then you can focus on other things like actually tucking, making sure you rotate fast, and you can also focus on other things like landing, make sure you're spotting the ground before you land, and everything will become natural. And then whenever you're doing a side flip, you can think about what you ate that morning, because it's just so easy. So repetition is super key, and it's super vital to just getting better at anything. Before I do anything, before I train, I find 5 precisions that are around me, and I try to stick those 5 times in a row. Again, in a row. So I'm trying to stick that jump perfectly every single time for 5 times before I move on to the next one. And the reason why that is because it instills repetition, and it allows me to remember that just because I understand how a precision works doesn't mean I've perfected it. I always want to strive to be 100% on point every single time. The next tip I have is to record yourself. So if you record yourself doing parkour, you'll be able to spot a lot of flaws, okay? Just from watching. So if you're doing a Kong and you're oh man, my knees are actually kind of close to the obstacle whenever I'm doing it, I could actually hurt myself. You can then focus on fixing that by recording yourself again and trying to fix that, and kind of self-diagnose your problem in parkour, okay? There's plenty of tutorials on the internet. I have a lot of tutorials that will help you, but the biggest tip I can give you is to record yourself and try to figure it out yourself, because you could watch a video, go out, and you could think that you're doing what was explained in the tutorial, but then if you actually record yourself, you'll be like, wow, I really wasn't doing that specific aspect that he or she said, and maybe I should actually be more mindful of that so I can perform that movement better, okay? And the last tip I have, it's kind of a weird one, but it's usually I say don't compare yourself to others as far as progression. You should definitely compare yourself to your favorite athletes that you feel do movements pretty, or that do movements with great form. And the reason why that is because if you combine that with also repetition and recording yourself, you can record yourself do movements, you can watch them do movements and figure out what they're doing differently than you, and you can kind of fix your body to kind of mimic that motion while you're in the air, okay? Even though I say that, you should also have your own style and do your own thing, as long as it's within good form and it doesn't hurt you, that's okay. But if you want to aim to make movements, very nice looking, pleasing to the eye, but also, safe, that way whenever you go to bigger stuff, it's even, it's not that big of a problem. You're not worried about you know, this movement going wrong because you drilled it so many times on ground level that doing it up something higher, doing it on something that's harder is no big deal, then it's going to be really important that you take, you know, videos of your favorite athletes, watch your videos, and kind of try to compare them and try to fix what you can and self-diagnose your movement. Again, this is a really quick video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Train hard, be safe. I'll catch you next week. Peace out, guys.